Hello, I am Dr. Deepthi Sidhaye and I am recording a story translated by Nissim Bedekar. The title of the story is The Terrible Device. Hope you have fun listening to this story. One day, a strange object came flying from the sky and landed on earth. Everyone gathered to see what it was. Although from a good distance away it was not possible to see it from afar, but it was too risky to venture near it. Are the aliens going to come out? Someone asked. But no matter how long they waited, no one came out. People observed the object carefully using a binocular. It was nearly circular in shape, with a diameter of approximately 10 meters, and had no door or windows. On one side of the sphere, there was a small barrel that looked like a chimney. That was the only noticeable thing about the sphere. What could be that thing looking like a barrel? How would I know? But the barrel started functioning right away. One could hear a shrieking noise coming from inside the barrel. The noise was really irritating. It was difficult to describe something akin to a musical instrument that is out of tune, or when someone scratches glass with a knife. At any rate, it was sure to give you a headache. People soon found out that another surprise was in store for them. Apart from the noise, the barrel also started emitting a foul stench. The stench was sure to make your stomach turn. The people who had gathered around the sphere dispersed a bit, but that hardly made any difference. After all, one could not plug one's ears and hold one's breath forever. What a strange device! Who could have sent this terrible device to Earth, and why? No idea. But before we find that out, we need to think how we are going to stop this noise and odor. Specialists from different fields gathered together and started discussing about the sphere. Finally, they wore special outfits that were soundproof and smell-proof and crept near the sphere. Thinking that someone must be inside, they tried to contact the aliens. But there was no response. It seemed there was no living being inside. Now they had no alternative but to shut that barrel themselves. They tried to close the mouth of the barrel using anything they could think of: cork, rubber, plastic, and other things. But no matter how much they tried, it was all in vain. If they tried to stuff any object in the barrel, the next moment it was thrown out like a cannonball. It was obvious that closing the mouth of the barrel was impossible. Now they tried to destroy that sphere. But even when they tried to drill a hole using all sorts of hard tools, not even a minute more could be drilled. All sorts of explosives were used with the same result. The sphere seemed to be made up of some tough metal. They even tried to throw some explosives inside the barrel, but they were also thrown out immediately. Next, people dug a deep hole in the ground and buried the sphere. But next day, the sphere was in its previous place. Then they tried to drown the sphere in the sea, but it simply came back rolling to where it was before. Soon it was clear that the sphere could not be destroyed with human efforts. It was made using a technology that was far beyond human imagination. Needless to say, the sphere was spreading its noise and odor as usual. Moreover, the impact of the noise and the odor was increasing every day. The noise coming from the sphere is increasing day by day. The odor is also becoming increasingly severe. Let's move away from this place. And so people had to move further and further away from the sphere. And area around the sphere increasingly became uninhabited. It was clear that at this rate, people were going to be pushed further and further away. Something had to be done to block the mouth of the barrel. People desperately tried all the means they could think of. Even glass and steel corks were made, but it was all in vain. Finally, in utter frustration, someone made a cork of gold. And lo, unlike other objects that were used till then, the gold cork was not thrown away. It simply vanished inside the sphere. And remarkably, that irritating noise and that sickening stench also ceased immediately. It seems the noise has ceased, and so has the odor. Finally, we are saved. But their joy did not last long. The noise and the odor resumed after about a week and ceased only after putting more gold inside the sphere. This cycle continued. The noise and the odor ceased after putting gold, only to resume after a week. What is this thing supposed to be? A gold-eating device? This is grave injustice. Why do we have to suffer like this? Have we ever wronged anyone from the outer space? Absolutely senseless. We don't know who has made this sphere, but one thing is certain. Those creatures did not send this sphere to us by mistake. I have no doubt that they intend to plunder the resources of our planet. And sometimes they seem to get tired of playing such a cruel joke. How long are we going to be robbed in this way? Everyone was venting out pent-up anger, but that was all they could do. The only way to stop the noise and the odor was to put gold inside the sphere, and still the nuisance resumed periodically. Finally, people did not have energy even to get angry. Whining and complaining, they kept on putting gold inside the sphere. A year passed. One day, the sphere started shaking. It seemed it would fly off any minute. One of the officials nearby noticed the shaking sphere. He quickly grabbed a painting brush and wrote on the surface of the sphere, "We do not know from where you are, but what do you mean by sending such a terrible device to our planet? Regardless of whether you agree or not, one thing is certain. Such a mean and cowardly way of robbery reflects very poorly on your planet having such a high level of technology and civilization." The sphere lifted off the ground and was soon out of sight. The sphere would not return for quite some time, thought the people. But very soon the sphere returned. It again seemed empty. Somewhere it must have deposited the gold that was taken from the earth. Once again the sphere resumed emitting that irritating noise and the foul stench. People looked at each other and the sphere with sullen faces. When they observed the sphere carefully, they found something written on the surface of the sphere. It was the answer to their message. "How rude of you to complain and call this sphere a terrible device. You, the people of the earth, have also started sending spaceships into the space. It goes without saying that your civilization has attained a certain level of technology. Needless to say, you must do your expected duties for the outer space. In other words, you must pay your taxes. This is a tax collecting device. We hope you will understand your duties and pay your taxes willingly. Rank Chief, Space Area number 254, Tax Collection Division, Outer Space Federation." Thank you. So this was the original Japanese story written by Shinichi Hoshi, translated by Nissim Bedecker, and read out for you by Dr. Deepthi Sidri.